The third one is a land contract or a contract for deed, depending on which state you're in. Land contract is simply an agreement to buy a property at a particular price with a particular interest rate, with a particular payment plan over a particular period of years. It's very much the same way that you buy a car. When you buy a car and you go out and get a loan from a lender, a standard lender, they take the title to the car, they hold on to that title, and they have agreement with you to make payments to them to pay off the loan. And as soon as you pay off the loan, then they transfer that title to you, and now you have the car free and clear. Well, it's the same with the land contract. The seller, the person who's selling it to you, keeps the deed in their name. But they have another agreement with you, which is recordable. You can take it down to the county recorder and record it, saying that you're going to buy it over a certain period of time for a certain price. And if you fulfill the terms of that agreement, then they're going to deed you the property after that's done. So that's another way to buy a property, and they can have underlying mortgages on it. If they may, you never want to buy one that has mortgages on it that are more than the land contract. And in all land contracts, it should be standard that they can never finance it above what the land contract, what is owed, still remaining on the land contract, so that you remain safe as the buyer in that transaction. So when you start getting to this is the middle of the transactions, and now it becomes almost as safe for the seller as it is for the buyer in these transactions. If you default on this deal, if you're the seller of the transaction, you sold it on a land contract, and that buyer recorded the land contract at the county recorder, then you're going to have to go through a judicial foreclosure to take that property back, to get that property back. It's not a problem. In a lot of places, it's easier than going through a foreclosure on a mortgage. So it still makes sense for the seller. But if you're the seller in the transaction, what you want to do is try not to have that land contract recorded, because a lot of times where we've had people that have defaulted on land contracts that we've sold to them, it's been easy to just tear up the land contract, agree with them, tear up the land contract and say that's enough, we're going to put somebody else in that property, we're going to sell it to somebody else, we're going to put a tenant in there, we're going to sell it on lease option, we're going to sell it outright. Whatever it is we choose to do, we can get that property back without going through a foreclosure process. And usually the buyer will allow us to do that without any argument. But if they record it, then you have to get it off the title, so it becomes more complex. So if you're buying the property on a land contract, make sure that land contract is recorded. If you're selling on a land contract, try not to have that land contract recorded. What we try to do is keep control over that land contract, put it in our files, put the original in our files, so nobody takes it down to the recorder and records it. Now, if the seller or if the buyer really wants it recorded, then we talk about it, and we can do that if they really need that to be done. All right, so we've got subject to, we got multi-mortgage, we got land contract. Those are the top three if you're buying a property in the hierarchy of zero-down structures, and they give you control of that property in relation to where they're at in the hierarchy. The higher they are in the hierarchy, the more control the seller has in the transaction.